So I want to tell you something that you may not realize as you're beginning your journey to learn code. And one of the most underrated skills in programming, obviously the ability to code is first and foremost, but it's not necessarily the programming language or the framework that you're picking or learning algorithms, but it's actually your ability to communicate. And before you click off the video and say he doesn't know what he's talking about, let me just kind of explain this skill to you and how it can help you progress your career, not just in the coding industry, but in any industry, if you will, for that matter. So I remember when I first started out, and I was actually in my coding class, and the class assignment was to build a project, but with a couple of teammates. And I would think that, hey, as long as I can write the code, it's efficient, I'll do my part and everything will be great. So if I can just master this, get my part down pat, understand the syntax, I'll be in a great position. But here's what actually happened. I'll write the code, I'll push it up, and then I'll get feedback from my teammates that, hey, half the time the issue necessarily wasn't with my code because it actually did work. The problem was that the people who were reading it didn't actually understand why I wrote it the way that I wrote it and what was it I was trying to get accomplished. I wasn't very clear in my thought process. I wasn't breaking down the problems clearly. And so that slowed down the team because we spent more time understanding what each other were trying to communicate and convey versus actually putting the project together and making sure that it worked. You see, coding is all about problem solving. And when you're in a team environment, that team is responsible for solving the problems. If you can't explain what problem you're solving and you can't walk someone else through the approach, then you're not going to be able to write a clear commit message or a comment. And it's not going to be beneficial to anyone else that needs to read your code. Think about it. Every pull request is a open communication. Every bug ticket is a form of communication. Even naming a variable is a form of communication, and you're telling the next developer what exactly this means. If it's not clear, no one's going to be able to understand it. So usually what happens are those developers that actually take the next step into that mid or senior level role, they're not the ones that's going to always memorize all of the frameworks and all the syntax. Yes, there's a deeper level of understanding that they have with their experience, but really the key skill that they possess over everyone else is they're the ones that can sit in the meetings and explain the complex idea in plain English so that other stakeholders have a clear understanding of what's going on. They could take the business requirement, turn it into technical steps, and then turn those technical steps into plain English so that the non-technical teammates can actually understand it. That's going to be the bridge between our technical world and those key stakeholders that need to have an understanding of what's going on to make sure that the bigger picture is being cared for. Think of it like being an architect. Sure, you can draw the business blueprints, but if you can't explain to the builders and the client what exactly is going on, how it's being built, and make sure they have a clear understanding of it, then it's not going to be a good business transaction. Code is basically like your blueprint. Communication is going to be the explanation, and without both, the project can potentially collapse. So now you may be wondering, how do you actually get better at this? So here are three things that I did that actually helped me get better at this, and these could be beneficial for you as well. Number one is to make sure that you narrate your thought process. When you solve a bug, don't just fix it and by just saying, hey, it's fixed, but talk about what caused it and why you chose the solution that you did. Number two is practice writing short, clear explanations. This could be a README commit or maybe a quick message or even comments within the file, depending upon the structure of the project and how you all want to make sure, how do you all want to make sure your comments are cared for in the process. The third thing is going to be is to talk about it out loud. Like seriously, say it out loud to make sure that it makes sense. Explain your code to a rubber duck. That's something that I was taught early on, or to a friend even, not just to yourself. If you can explain it to them and you have a very good understanding of it, and if that friend could even understand it as well, you know you're on the right track in your communication and you're doing a very good job, because if a non-coder or a non-technical person can understand it, surely most developers are going to be able to pick up what you're trying to convey as well. So the fact of the matter is you can be brilliant at writing code, but if no one understands it, it doesn't matter. Learn to communicate, learn to explain things in a clear, concise manner. Learn to make your communication simple and to the point. That's a very underrated skill that turns good developers into great ones. So let me know in the comments if you think communication is a coding skill or a soft skill. Let me know your take on it. And if you also enjoyed this video, feel free to give me a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.